Well, I was trying to start my lawnmower for the first time this winter, and it won't turn over. So I thought, well, I probably got a dead battery. Okay, sat there all winter. Charged it up, jumped it, still didn't work. So now what? Here we are. I just know from working on them that it won't start with the blade turned on. That's turned off. It won't start if you're not sitting on it. There's a switch there. It also won't start if you don't have the brake pushed all the way down. So I've got all that done, charged the battery, and here's what I get. Hear it? I hear a click, but it's not starting. And the click is probably, listen, the relay. They put relays in things because the switches, like this switch right here, isn't heavy duty enough to carry the amperage to run the starter. All it has enough power, thin wires, to make the solenoid kick in. I hear the solenoid, but I don't hear the starter. So all the switches must be good. So now we're down to the solenoid. So what you have to do is find where the solenoid is. Most people don't know where it is. Or people like me that knew where it was and forgot. So I'm going to trace my little red wire, the one that's going to the starter. See it there? It's the starter. It only has one wire going to it. And it heads up underneath the battery. So I'm probably going to have to pull the battery out to see it. I'm going to see if I can maybe eyeball it from over here. There's a good little chance it's just a plug-in relay. I don't know where it's at. So I guess I'll push this in the garage later on and put the light on it so you can watch me. And we'll troubleshoot this thing. But the trouble is I gotta push it to the garage. It's out here in the cold, cold weather. So I got a project. If you own enough machines, you never run out of projects. But at least we know it goes down to the relay. So I'm guessing it's either relay or the starter. I don't know. Usually if the starter's out, at least you can hear it hum or something, but I don't even hear anything. All I hear is a relay. Alright, get back to you. Well, I'm going to try to take that battery out just with the tools I got out here in the shed. This is just my storage shed out here, it's not my garage. And probably be more like what most people have. You know, they let their lawnmower sit all winter and now it won't start. So I'm just going to do it with a very basic tool set that I got in my truck, and we'll see what happens. Bear with me. This is the tools I'm going to try to use. I got a little 1/4 inch SAE socket set. And I don't know what's in here. I haven't opened it in a long time. We'll see if we got anything. I knew that the socket set had fallen apart, so I'm going to load this and see what I got. I may have to go get more tools. I'll find tools I haven't seen in ages. So I charged it up with this one of those little trickle chargers. Let's make sure before I start tearing things apart. I haven't tried to jump it yet. Look at it. Go ahead and pull the battery. Basically because I have to get under there. Not like working on a house power where it's coming from a power plant. I'm just going to put this bolt right back in there so I don't have anything to put my parts on. Remember, I'm working out here in the field, just like you probably, the field, yeah, out in my shade. You know, some of them will have a metal tie down. This just has a rubber strap that holds it in place. You may have nothing in there. Okay, I'm gonna lay that on the seat. Take the battery out. Ooh, it's dirty under there. I think when I take this whole battery box out, to see it, I can see right now that that relay is behind here. I'm going to go ahead and take a flash photo of this so you can see my red wire. It ends up right there. Out of the way. This red wire this red wire goes directly to the hot side of my battery. This red wire goes to my starter. Just look to make sure it's tight. It just feels like it's tight. So I'm going to go ahead and take that photo so you can see it maybe. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take those bolts out that hold it on there. Most of them are held on with 2 bolts some way. Sometimes they have. And on this one, those are the 2 bolts I'm going to take out. That whole thing should come out where I can get my hands on it. But before I do that, I want to show you something. Find my jumpers. I thought I had them. Okay, so I got this off. Remember, the battery was on one of these and the starter was on the other. This right here is when you turn the key and it goes through all the safety switches, then it puts power on this. What I think I heard when I was clicking was this trying to engage. This is just basically a heavy duty switch that when you put power here from your control power, like your switch, then it hooks these 2 together and puts battery power directly to the starter. And when you let up on the key, this goes away, these open up. What I think's happened is it's probably got moisture. You'll notice that it only has 1 wire coming into it. That tells me that it's getting this negative through this mounting bolt. So if there's any rust, which I don't see on here, that could be your problem. If you lose ground to here, now if it has 2 wires, one of them will be ground and one of them will be hot. Only when you turn the switch to start. So this is your control signal telling this to close and hit the starter. I'm going to see if I've got something that'll replace this. Well, I didn't find the exact one, but I found one that'll work. The difference in these 2, basic difference, is the mounting base. This one mounts so it goes straight up. This one mounts goes straight out. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. It will not interfere with my battery box. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt it. This one's bolted on like this. This one will bolt on like this. Alright, same idea. It's still a switch. It's a remote heavy duty switch. What I'm putting on there now is this. Ground through base. Just like this one. And the part number I'm putting on there is the 435097. Made in China. The one I'm taking off, made in the USA. Same company. Whoops. Well, so much for the new one. I dropped it. Anyway, I'm going to put it on there, make sure it works. Boom. Alright, so I've got the battery box in. I could have cleaned it, but I didn't. It's too cold. I could feel in there. I know I'm not touching anything. The only reason I'm doing that is because I put a different kind of relay in it, different style. And now before I bolt the battery box down and everything, I'm going to go ahead and put the battery in it and see if my guess was right. Yes, this was a guess. Okay, here comes the moment of truth. I haven't got the battery box bolted down. I just got it sitting in there. It should have nothing to do with it. Let's see if my guess is right. Huh. Look at that. Somehow I've lost control power. I had it when I first started it. Everything's rusted up from this winter. I'm going to shine up this fuse holder. Fuse, actually. I didn't worry about it at first because I did have control power. Basically, I got two problems. There's a good chance that that relay is still good that I took out. This just goes to show you that 12 volts doesn't like to go through dirt or your human skin. Okay, here's what I've got. I've got my battery out of my boat, jumpered where the battery would be. I cleaned the fuse, covers on. Got a good set of jumpers. These are aircraft jumpers I made years ago. Heavy wire. I noticed my jumpers, those cheap jumpers, were getting hot. Okay, you're in the driver's seat now. Cross your fingers. Now, I had a comedy of errors here. Before I had the control circuit was okay, telling the relay to click. Then I put the new one in, and you saw it turn over a few times, and then it stopped. Well, I was probably getting bare minimum to that relay. That relay I took out would probably still work. Since it's the old one, I'm just going to leave the new one in there. That fuse, I must have just bumped it or something. I was looking at it, but I didn't take it out. I did wiggle it, and that's what killed me. So now I've got a clean fuse in there. I'm going to go ahead and clean all the battery terminals. I got the battery on charger, the actual lawnmower battery. Then I'm going to put this all back together. Be back to you in a minute. Went ahead and shined these up while I'm in here. Both sides. I got the battery on the charger. I'm going to put it back together. Yeah, turns out I had two troubles. The relay, and then it would work, and then it wouldn't. And the fuse was rusty. So, I'm going to give you one last chance to watch me fail again. I'm going to hook this up and see if it'll start. I got the battery back in it. I cleaned the terminals. I put a new relay in it. And I cleaned the fuse. So, cross your fingers. Maybe I'll get to mow the grass this summer. Okay, now if you're crossing your fingers, here we go. No outside influences.